You're writing a book, but it's way shorter than you intended. Too short to publish. Now you're trying all these tricks to stretch it on for as long as you can, but no matter what you do, it's not enough, and it feels like you're never going to get it to the point where it's worthy of being published. In this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about how to add more to your book without feeling like you're stretching it too far. A while back, I got this comment on one of my videos. My novel will be too short, and I'm going to use an illustration with every chapter to add thousands of words. Now, you can't tell because you can't see the comment, but you know, it's not serious, don't worry. But they say, for real, worried I'm going to make my novel too short, so my brain is coming up with gimmicks. Now, this is a problem that pretty much every writer faces. It does tend to be earlier in their career, but it could be at any point in their career. The good news is there are several things that you can do to fix it. A big part of writing is finding out sort of your style and how you are in the craft. There are overwriters and underwriters. The overwriters sort of prattle on and on with exposition and they leave nothing unsaid. An underwriter, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. They leave too much unsaid. Now, there could be situations where your reader is going through your book and you don't even know what major characters look like. Maybe you don't even know what this room that they're in looks like, or even a major set piece. And it keeps getting brought up over and over and over again. You got no idea what this throne room looks like, for example. Underwriting covers prose, but it can also cover more things. In my opinion, also structure. Now, I'm not saying that this is their problem. I haven't read their book and I don't know what it looks like. But this is the most foundational problem for people that end up with a shorter book. So we'll cover this first and then we'll work our way into the more complex stuff. I myself am a pretty chronic underwriter. My biggest notes and most common notes from beta readers tend to be that it feels like I'm glossing over stuff, or that it feels like I'm covering a lot of ground with just a few sentences. Ask yourself, have you given enough detail? Have you made your reader experience the story, not just read it? Have they felt the emotions? Have they incorporated all of their senses? That is smell, sight, taste, touch, and hearing. Remember, writing a book is like painting a picture, but with words. And a good way to add length to your story is to make sure you're giving sufficient detail, adding in a few strokes of the brush here and there, as it were. Another thing to consider, are you giving enough downtime, enough opportunity for your characters to interact with each other with slightly lower tension? That way you can explore their relationships as they start out and as they develop over time. Are you giving enough room for natural outgrowths and exploring the story, or does it feel more like you're pushing your people from one end of an overcrowded haunted house to the other and not letting them actually experience it? Ambiance and atmosphere are huge to a story, and you need to let your characters be real people. If you do end up with that feeling that your characters are being pushed along from one scene to the next, which is, by the way, a very common problem for underwriters, but also very, very plot-focused authors, there is some techniques you can employ and some things that can help you. Every scene should be causing the next one. It shouldn't be this happens, then this happens. It should be this happens, therefore it causes this to happen. The disconnect between scenes there is called slideshow syndrome, and it's really caused by not providing enough context for your scenes and enough of a cause and effect relationship between those scenes. Now, maybe those aren't your problems. Again, I haven't seen this commenter's book and I haven't seen yours either. So what are some next steps? Here are some universal tips that help me. First off, I always finish the book no matter what. Even if I'm really concerned about the length of it, I will finish it, take a step back for a little bit, do something else, maybe work on another project for a bit, and then I'll come back with fresh eyes. And that's very important. If you're going to stay too far deep into this, you're going to be missing a lot of obvious stuff. You're too emotionally invested, too mentally invested. You're thinking about a million things at once. Let yourself be away from it. Let yourself sort of relax in terms of that project and then come back to it. When I do that, I can come back and a lot of times see things in a more holistic way, and I'm a lot more equipped to make the changes that will make the book better. It helps me find natural breaks where something can be put in, and it also helps me find natural scenes or plot points that stem from what I've already got written down, and that helps me create way more depth. It could be you have something that's small in the book that you hint at, but when you come back, you realize it's actually worthy of being explored a little bit more and maybe even becoming its own subplot. Are there any sources of tension, and are there any cool ideas that you have that you're waiting for, but they could actually just be implemented here in this story? With a story that's too short, the number one thing is that beta readers and developmental editors are the way to go, especially beta readers in this scenario, because they will see the book from the perspective of a fan. They will know what they want and what you are or are not giving them and what they need to see more of and how you can improve the book. They'll be able to feel out where those additions should go and a lot of the times what those additions should be, at least if they're a good one. A lot of the time, all it could take is adding something that's already practically begging to be added, more time with a really cool character, one more scene or subplot. It's the kind of thing where you don't have to overthink it. You can just feel it out and let the story tell you what it wants or what it needs. And remember, the average book that's currently getting published sits between 60 to 90,000 words. That is a lot shorter than most people expect. And in a lot of ways, that means maybe you're already there or closer to it than you think, and it's not as impossible and insurmountable of a task as you expected. One more thing I want to touch on, maybe it does still make sense for our commenter to add in art and incorporate that. But make sure you're doing that for the quality and the integrity of the art itself. And make sure if you do it that you're very careful, because it adds up really, really fast. That's all I have for today. So as always, if you got any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. I'm always very willing to answer any questions you've got, even if it means making a video about it. And I find it to be quite enjoyable. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.